Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho. Ha ha ha.
When you're down here with me, you float down!
Like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
What up, film fans? Happy Thursday, and welcome to episode 18 of season 7 of Friday the 14th podcast. I am one of your hosts, Juan, and I am joined by
the other host, D4K bad guy.
Nick. Man, how's the week been? Have a good week?
It was a pretty good week. Got to go see Never Let Go with Halle Berry.
Yeah. So before Nick's just already into it. He's like, let's get started. We ain't waiting on nobody. What else did you get to check out, man?
Of course, the movie we're reviewing today. What else did I dive into?
Any wrestling?
Some rough. No, not necessarily. I think I've just been mainly keeping up with just stuff on Instagram or just random posts.
Well, 24 hours from now, I'll be in a very loud Paycom center for Friday Night SmackDown, so I'm ready for tomorrow. But as far as some recent watches and recommendations, I recently checked out Sleepy Hollow for a recent episode of the Cinema Movie Podcast, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Speak No Evil. I finally got to go see that. You said you already saw it already. I liked it a lot. If I had to let you know a rating, I think I gave it a 4 out of 5. James McAvery was phenomenal, just like he was in Split. How he can go from quiet tone to really really loud, creepy, and psychopathic or psycho-ish in a way. So I really adored that film. If anybody's out there watching or listening, which you are watching live on Emiswa Productions YouTube channel or the Facebook page of the Cinema Movie Podcast, go check it out. It was an absolute delight on the big screen. The Deliverance, which is on Netflix, Sleepy Hollow, which is on MGM Plus, I believe, or Paramount Plus, I can't remember. And then Mr. McMahon, the documentary. That's what I want to push today. I watched all 6 episodes the moment and the chance I took. Each episode is about 51 minutes. It's an absolute joy. I wish it was longer. I wish it was filled with more everything. It was really really good. So go check that out. It's binge worthy on Netflix right now. Highly recommend it. So yeah. But if you guys want to keep up with our social media page, or if you want to watch any of the past episodes of anything on this YouTube channel, or the Facebook or social media Instagram pages, just check it out. Instagram/Friday the 14th podcast, Facebook/Friday the 14th podcast. You can also check out Emiswa Productions on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. All the links to all the future episodes, past episodes, are all on the social media pages. Go check it out, man. We're always posting some stuff on any and every site, so go check it out. So, yeah. Nick, let's not keep them waiting. I think we can dig into what we're talking about today, unless there's anything else you want to talk about or dig into.
Throw in your face. Yeah, another recent watch that came back to mind was actually finally going around to see No Evil 2.
Oh yeah, that's a decent one. I like that one a lot better than the first one.
Is it because of a certain scene?
Directed by those sisters.
Yeah, it was a fun watch there. This weekend coming up, I'm actually gonna or tomorrow actually. I'm gonna go to a wrestling show um, in San Antonio. Of course, with
Right.
Emo Salone, Franco.
San
Should be fun.
Antonio.
San Antonio.
Nice. So we'll talk the weekend a little bit later. Should be a fun weekend. But yeah, let's dig into the Deliverance. So yeah, this was my pick, by the way, and I was super high on this film a few weeks ago, so it's gonna be fun, kind of digging into it. IMDb gives this film a 5.8. Rotten Tomatoes is at 35%. Metascore is at 39%. The Letterboxd is at a 2.0. With a release date in select theaters in August of 16th of 2024 this year. It hit Netflix August 30th of 2024 this year with a $30 million budget. Of course, it didn't have enough views in theaters to collect the box office, but it did have over 8.3 million views in the very first week that it hit Netflix. Um, Starring Andrea Day, Glenn Close, Anthony B. Jenkins, Caleb McLaughlin, Demi Singletary, Monique, Omar Epps, uh, and directed by Lee Daniels. An Indiana family discovers strange demonic occurrences that convince them that their community, that house, and everything around them is a portal to hell. Um, like I said, I'll go first. I watched this like a month ago when it first hit, probably actually 3 weeks ago. Um, I thought it was a pretty good film the first hour and like maybe 20 minutes, and then it kind of didn't collect my full attention the last 30 minutes. And then I rewatched it today, getting ready for today's episode, and I kind of still had the same feeling on my second time viewing. What about you, Nick? What was it like the first time compared to revisiting it for the podcast?
Oh, last night was my first time.
Oh, last night was your first time.
Um, very gentle. Didn't want to rush things. Took my time with it. No, yeah, got through it. No trouble with it. I never. I'm not sure when the first time I would say I was exposed to the film or knowing about it. I think remember maybe been a bit of a while ago that I saw some random post of a scene with the grandma. That's
The
something she
grandma.
says, but I didn't tie in like the title of the movie that what it was. So seeing that play, I was like, oh, well, that's that screenshot that I saw.
So this, to me, we can go ahead and dig into it. I really do like the opening. I'm gonna read some messages from the opening. Um, the movie starts with, based on true stories or some events based on true stories, however you want to word it. I need forgiveness for my sins, but I also need deliverance from the power of sin. That's how the movie starts off. Um, and then it goes into, I need forgiveness for what I have done, but I also need deliverance from what I am. And thinking about those two messages, I ended up doing some diving into it. And it's from like, it's not referenced from anything, but I believe a Catholic priest put some of these messages on social media. And Lee Daniels, the director, um, who, if you guys are not familiar with Lee Daniels, he's a really, really good director. And I believe this is his first shot at horror. So we can kind of talk some hits and misses, maybe. Um, but right off the bat, you get the sense of something's not right with this family. Whether you're getting introduced to the mother, Ebony, um, or the grandma, Alberta. The kids are Nate, Andre, and Shantae. You said this was your first time last night. What did you think of just being introduced to the family? And it's really the first dinner, the first dinner. Um, Yeah,
The family itself, I mean,
at the family dinner table.
um, it's interesting seeing it play out. I mean, especially it's it almost feels like you're not really watching a horror film at the beginning start of it. It just seems like one of those drama movies you would see on TV, just randomly flipping. Um, thought the family was put together very well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
So I kind of felt the same. I thought the family was put together pretty well. I didn't feel like the beginning of it was like a horror movie. To be honest with you, I didn't feel much horror vibes until maybe the kids start spazzing out at like almost an hour into the film. There's a lot of stuff interesting to me before that happens, and I get caught up in the dramatic effects and like, hey, maybe this house isn't possessed. Maybe it's the mother who's possessed, or maybe it's her actual real life demons from her past that are with her in the present. You know what I mean? Like real life demons, just her a problem with alcohol abuse, or maybe her just issues with abuse from her mother's past in general, or something's not being un something's covered in the layers of this film. So like when I'm first watching it, I'm like, you know, maybe it's supposed to be an inner demon, like metaphorically speaking, how people have demons in their real life. That's what I thought at first was going on in this movie.
it's
What do
like
you
the
think?
Babadook. Yeah, but
Kind of.
kind of. Um, because there's that scene where she goes into the kids' room and you see that big old hole in the wall, but they don't show what happens. You just kind of hear things, so it's kind of like
Misleading.
it is kind of misleads you to think maybe
And,
it's just her.
and then there's stuff that's just misleading through the whole movie. Like, yeah, Andre has, he's talking to the imaginary friend,
Trey.
yeah. Or maybe, I like how it keeps hinting that there's a smell down in the attic or the basement. And most movies where you're possessed or your house is possessed, you have that smell or something's rotting somewhere down in the house. Um, and then they tease you that, oh, there was a dead cat down there the entire time. So to me, the first time watching it, I'm like, I'm flirting around with this idea that it's just her, like she's just an evil person.
She killed the cat and threw it in the basement. Nah. Um, what the guy who came to take out the cat, the way he's just holding it like, oh, all right, that's gonna be $60. Say, I don't got that kind of money. Well, you don't pay me up, I'm gonna throw it back into the basement. Savage.
Yeah. Um, and
But
then you
there's
start.
also, I was gonna say, there's also I want to say it's before the scene where she goes in the kids' room with Andre. He's just slurping down the milk, even though he's lactose intolerant,
Yep.
and the the crow over goes into the window, playing into the typical possession movies type of
Birds flying into the house or animals trying to get in or out of
committing yeah,
suicide.
offing themselves.
Yeah, offing themselves.
Mm.
Um, and then you have the mom who I still fully don't trust. She's bald. She's going to chemo. She's got cancer. She's dying. Um, it, very, very good performance by Glenn Close. But this is the second movie that she's done. She did one for Hulu a few years ago, and then now she's done this one for Netflix. To where like she's got some really good performances, but they kind of get overshadowed I think because they're movies that get straight to streaming. I'm not sure, or maybe I just think they're good. Maybe everybody else thinks it's shit. Um, but yeah, once the horror aspect and the horror vibes start happening in the movie, um, it still kind of is a little chilling. But let's talk about maybe if there's some negatives. Um, to me, I start feeling negative when the kids get taken away and the little boy actually starts showing his demonic possession. Like I feel like it just some of it just wasn't really done right. What about you? Do you think it was did it take too long for it to start showing those vibes, or was it just in the amount of right time for you?
Mm, I think they could have probably done it a little bit sooner than that. Like his transformation doesn't happens like maybe in over an hour. I think
Yeah, like an hour 20, hour 30 almost. And the last 25 minutes is just the fight of the possession, if you will.
the fight, the throwdown.
Let's talk about the Monique character. She plays like the um not really secret service, or not secret service, but she plays Cynthia, who is kind of like with Child Protective Services. She's doing like the wellness checks on the kids, making sure the mom is staying away from some alcohol, not completely drowning herself in it. What'd you think of that character? And do you think maybe like she could have had a different purpose, or because the first time watch she came off really strong to me, so I was like, I'm not really fond of that character. But the second time watching it, and you kind of see her explain how she lost her son, you're like, oh damn, no wonder she's bitter all the time, because she don't have an opportunity to try to take care of a kid.
Just 2 seconds, she had her back turned and that was bye bye. Um, yeah, but like she didn't know about the house being haunted or whatever. The history behind it. She's like, well, the mother's just an alcoholic all the time, so these kids are probably too afraid to speak up. That's why
Yeah.
she's really, really on aggressive. I mean, even the grandmother was in denial as well, and still further on some movie.
Yeah, and I mean, their grandmother, she's a mess of her own. She seems like she's also a recovering alcoholic or abuser or abusee. She's kind of looked to um, Christ and trying to save herself, turn over a new leaf. Um, but man, it's kind of hard. She's going to chemo. She's showing her chest, trying to pick up the nurse. Um, you know, trying to trying to have a little fun probably before she gets too sick. But man, there's this whole family, man. Even without thinking about the possession or the demon, this family is a mess. Very very dysfunctional family.
Very easy target for demons to latch onto.
There you go. Yep. Um. Yeah, and the way I forgot her name. The way Ebony and Alberta just go back and forth with each other throughout the whole movie is just like, man, these guys are saying something. It kind of led you on like somebody's gonna regret saying something like this one day in the movie between the two characters, and sure enough, um, Alberta's death happens. But before that, I want to back up just a little bit. What'd you think of the scenes where they were like completely spazzing out? Andre had the scene where he was throwing the poop, the feces on the
His story,
teacher.
and also he was consuming it apparently.
Yeah, he was also eating it supposedly. Um, Nate was laughing at the teacher's like story about her brother dying of AIDS, I think. And then Shantae, I don't think she really had that. She didn't really spaz out. She just had an accident, and they just looked at her funny. Not less. I mean, it doesn't tell you what she said to the teacher. She could have said
Left to
something.
interpretation.
Yeah. Um, but man, that completely threw me for a loop when I first watched it. What about you?
It's like, oh, it's happening to everyone all at once. I mean, to me, the Andre is I guess, the craziest one. Even though the Muyu, so the main vessel, the demon try to possess.
Yeah.
Because the other two weren't really, even like for towards the end of the movie, didn't really do anything with those other
Mm-mm.
characters.
Yeah, that scene was insane. What about the scene where it's right before Alberta dies? Uh, Ebony goes downstairs for like 10 seconds, goes back upstairs, and Nate is like literally trying to drown the young one. Um, maybe I mean, he sensed maybe that he's probably possessed. I don't know, but that like, the visuals of him being like choked underwater to me was like that's when I'm like, okay, this is a kind of a freaky scene. I can't wait to see what's next. And then it kind of dumbed down a little bit for me. What do you think? Did it do the same for you? Did you think that was a pretty cool scene?
Yeah, it was a pretty cool scene. I mean, I almost thought they were actually gonna kill off the Andre character. Um, just how long he had been underwater, just being drowned. Um, I guess that demon was really keeping him alive. Um, Surprised Ebony couldn't just knock the other son like off. That it almost like was there, like he was like a statue stone. Like you can I could just knock him over. It's weird. I wonder if
Yeah,
this possession was like that powerful that you couldn't really move him.
yeah. It took a minute, man, and then she got inside the tub. At first, when I first watched it, and she was trying to pull him off, I'm like, pull the plug, let the water out. But
It was clogged up with hair.
yeah,
What the hell? No, but she comes comforts Andre, and Andre just kind of stares back at the grandma like, oh,
I didn't know
so
this movie was gonna be heavy, in the language either. Like, I was thinking maybe, oh, it might be PG-13, but no, this movie was pretty graphic as far as language goes.
language be wild, and even Ebony grinding up on the dude in the party.
Yep. Um, and we can talk about Lee Daniels for a little bit. He's kind of more like a dramatic director. He directed Shadowboxer in '05. He had his big break with Precious in '09. Got him some Oscar nominations. The Paperboy was Zac Efron. Um, the Butler with Robin Williams. His recent movie came out a few years ago, The United States versus Billie Holiday. That was a Hulu exclusive. And then he has The Deliverance, which we're talking about today. So, um, he knows what he's doing. He's a good director. This was really his first shot at horror. Um, Again, leading up into the actual horror acts, I thought it was a pretty good film. I just had some, let's talk about it. I had some issues with the ending. Um, like literally from the time the boy gets strapped in, Monique sees him do his Wes Craven's New Nightmare act, where he gets out of the bed and he goes up onto the ceiling. You know, um, I thought that was okay. Some of the CGI was a little off. Didn't really look all that great. Um, and then the moment the mom goes in and just, oh, let me walk into the hospital after they meet the so-called angel at McDonald's, they sit down to have the conversation at McDonald's about the
Go.
families. They do. It was at McDonald's. I wonder how much McDonald's paid to get into the film, or if they had to pay anything at all. You know. Um, but anyway, she sits down there at the restaurant, and she talks about the family's past. I do like the flashback scenes about that first family that was in the had real Amityville horror vibes, I guess. Did you like the flashback scenes, especially with that the dad's head getting cut off?
I thought that was a pretty cool part of the movie. getting those flashbacks. Just freaking dad getting his head, and then she just picks it up, then tries to go chasing after the daughter, and then they say later on she hung herself after she killed the daughter.
Yeah.
Um, for a long time they thought that that woman was part of the child protective with the other Cynthia. It's like, what are you staring at? These lawyers playing stalker, taking pictures of the house and everything.
Yep.
And she just randomly appears like she's like Nick Fury. I'm putting together a team. Okay. Um,
No, yeah, that's true. That's how I had some of the. I started feeling a bit negative about the film. You got Dr. Pepper in there, sir?
um, but yeah, she goes. Everything's like, this is all just a bunch of bullshit, whatever. Tries taking off, but of course, that woman gives her the. So you're take on business card. You gonna need me. It's
Just
like,
call my name. I'll be there in a hurry. But no, that's exactly how it happened, and the grandma died, and to me it started feeling just a little flat. The mom goes and rescues the son out of the hospital, and it's like, really, like you're just gonna sneak in there, take him out, nobody's gonna stop you.
I was like, where'd she get the outfit from?
Yeah, she went to Five Below before,
I don't know. She went
after her
somewhere.
mom, yeah, after
She
her
got those
mom died.
scrubs.
Yeah. Oh, that's where she got him from. Her mom was a scrub, or remember, her mom was in Scrubs before in the beginning, earlier in the movie. Her mom worked like as a nurse or med aid or something like that. Yeah, you even have the birthday scene where they're just living it up, like, oh, here my mom is showing her stuff around, um, trying to get Omar Epps is in there trying to get hot granny. And let's face it, uh, Glenn Close at this point in her career and her age is more like the great grandma. She had it. She's hitting like at least 90, 80. I don't know. How old is Glenn Close? Let me see.
Old enough to party.
Old enough to party. That's what
um,
I'm talking about.
like how
She's
she's like,
she's 77
ooh.
and she's still trying to get it at chemo.
So yeah, as soon as they show that her getting checked up, the shot they show you is pretty much her. They're showing her bra off, and everything. So, so when are you gonna ask me out? Or they or she asked him a lot, and then he had replied, "So I should catch me outside. How about that?" And I mean,
Catch me outside. How about that? And put some
so
hot
he did say, "Catch me
tua.
outside." So what
Put some
the?
hot tua on it.
So I'll catch you outside.
Not the Glenn Close I grew up with, watching 101 Dalmatians. That's for sure. But again, we'll try to get to the ending. But before we get to the ending, and since we're talking about Glenn Close, who was hot in the movie for you?
I was watching the movie. It was like, oh boy,
You're like, this is not what I was thinking about when I was watching the movie.
it's like, how do we do this?
Was it Monique for you? I want her to come check up on my child service. No, I mean what? I want her to do a house call for me.
It's a
Uh,
tough one this week.
you know what? I'm gonna go with the mom. I'm gonna go with Ebony, the mother of the children. That is, yeah.
Mm. And she, yeah, I'll go Ebony as well. The straight hair and everything. Yeah. Um, but Alberto was a close second.
Depending on what wig she was wearing.
Huh?
Depending on what wig she was wearing.
She was going for that black wig, which like nah, I'm not feeling this one. I'm gonna go with the
You telling
the
me
other one.
you weren't feeling her when she came downstairs with a bat and no wig? She over there looking like Captain Hook from Hook
Oh shit!
when he took his wig off.
Or I was getting from that movie, the what was it, the witches?
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, she looked like one of the Hocus Pocus witches.
So when she came out the bat, I thought like she got possessed by a demon or something. At that point, I was like, oh, is this a shot or the possession takes over? Was that just her being protective?
Yeah,
It's like you gotta get your shit straight, or they're gonna take our babies away.
that's funny. Um, yeah, so that's who's hot segment this week. Um, we can go back. The ending to me just felt like I was getting ready to watch a a goof of a horror movie. Like I legit felt like some scenes when he was possessed and Ebony was trying to save him at the end, it legit felt like they were about to make a comedic type ending. Like I had scary movie vibes from it.
So you go into I don't know, just the whole horror elements of the movie. It felt more rushed, just because the whole movie was really dominated by being dramatic.
Yeah,
So yeah, but the CGI was kind of laughable itself.
yeah, it was kind of ass. But I mean, does movies like that get what it's coming to if you decide to just go to streaming, especially with just a $30 million budget? I mean, I know people are like streaming is still decent, it's still okay, but I feel like it doesn't give you the budget that you may want or desire sometimes. So I feel like this movie would have benefited a lot if the demon was just a personal demon that she was trying to face. You know, her past catching up with her with the alcohol and the ex husband. I think this movie would have been a little bit more creepier if that was the case. But like I said, I just didn't like the ending. It kind of fell flat for me, and it sounds like it did the same for you.
Like the demon kept trying to change forms. Went from Andre to Alberta to even herself.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Even though the CGI for Alberta was a little laughable, she still looked kind of creepy. I
I
thought
thought you
she
were gonna say she still looks sexy.
was.
Nope, it wasn't doing for you.
No, but yeah. So it kind of sounds like you had the same queef-like ending. It kind of just queefed the bed.
Yeah, just the whole how her whole viewpoint just changed. It's like, all right, maybe my mom was right. Maybe there's God and everything. Because I mean, the whole movie, she's like, oh, you believe that or whatever. She's not really a believer at all. It's all right. And I know she became like this powerful. I don't know. Like, I really didn't understand what she was saying towards the end. Besides Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, no, for real. Like it kind of just went away, and it was just like I don't know. It didn't do it for me. So the
And
first the first
yeah,
time watching it, I was go ahead. My bad.
no, when the demon down to the ground, like it was like Jason goes down. We're out the big old hands.
Yeah, the first like I said, the first half I thought was pretty decent. It felt creepy. It was like a dense, dramatic horror film. And in the ending, when it was really just trying to pick up the horror vibes, it just kind of crapped the bed for me. So, um, yeah, and it did do its thing at the end of the movie. It was like, hey, this was based on a true story. Here's the house. Here's what Alberta looked like. She got her kids taken away, but she got them back 6 months later. She's trying to reconcile with the father. And then the house was like demolished, and then nothing ever was built back on top of it because of the strange incidents that were happening, supposedly. So, you know. But let's talk about a favorite scene. Um, if I had to pick a favorite scene, I'll go first. It would be the dinner table scene where you really see that stuff is going on, and then maybe the birthday party scene, and the grandma's death. I thought that was pretty creepy. What about you?
Hmm. I'll throw in the when Andre's in the basement, just banging his head against the door.
Oh yeah, that's creepy. The bathtub scene.
Uh,
I forgot about the bathtub scene.
that scene was definitely a good scene. The well, I just had to see in my head and it went blank. Um, yeah, I lost it.
You're good. Honestly, this film I can see where it can kind of be forgettable. So, now's the time where we're gonna rate this movie. Um, a few weeks ago, I think I gave it like a 3.5 or a 4 when I first watched it, personally. Um, now, I think I'm gonna give it a 2. I think I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5.
Ooh, you fell.
Yeah, it fell. It fell hard. So
For me, I'll give it a. I'll give it a 3. But as far as just the movie itself, I mean, I just because it wasn't really a whole bunch of horror elements to the actual movie, it was drama heavy.
yeah. In other news today, Whiplash, Nick, 20th anniversary, or no, 10th anniversary. We talked about it back in January on my podcast, but it's in theaters this week. Are you going to go see it?
Real tempting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think Sunday's the last day, I think. I'm not sure. But, so yeah, I mean, a 2 for me for this movie, even if I'm thinking of horror movies or just drama. Overall, I think it was a very good first half, but it just fell off in the second half for me. It didn't keep me entertained. I didn't feel any kind of like spooky vibes from the ending. Like you said, the horror aspect felt rushed, so that's why I give it a 2. You give it a 3. 3 is good. I almost went a 3 today, but the second half for me just didn't do it. Next week, Nick's pick, The Innkeepers, directed by Ty West, is October the 3rd, next Thursday, 8 p.m. I can't believe we're already in October. That's insane.
Mm.
So yeah.
Start of season as bad guy.
Yeah. What led you to pick this movie, or have you seen it yet?
I've not seen it yet. Been meaning to watch it. Of course, it's a found footage movie, I believe. And I haven't seen a whole lot from Ty West, besides the X trilogy, which I enjoyed those movies. So it's just one of those movies where I can go for another dive into his stuff.
Which, if you want to check it out, this movie is on Tubi or Peacock. So go stream it and
Peacock.
go join us next Thursday, October the 3rd, as we talk about The Innkeepers. Next Thursday, 8 p.m. So should be a fun one. If you guys want to join me on Tuesday, I'll have sports talk on Monday, but Tuesday, join us for Long Legs over on the Cinema Movie Podcast. Tuesday, 7 p.m. We're talking Long Legs. Other than that, Nick, man, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm gonna go visit you.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, I think mentioned earlier in the stream that I'm gonna go to a resident show tomorrow, I believe. Saturday. Wow. I was really looking into movies, what's out, but it's very few things out there. I mean, Whiplash is a movie that's gonna be, like you said, out there. I might just go watch that on the base stream. Not really a whole lot going on, but
Same. Not a whole lot going on this weekend for me. SmackDown tomorrow, football Saturday, football Sunday, podcast Monday, Tuesday. So busy week. Come hang out with us on Tuesday. And then come check out with next Thursday as well, man. The Innkeepers, Ty West. Should be another fun conversation. That's it for me, unless you have anything else you want to add.
you know, shit's getting real whenever he throws the shit at the teacher. Oh man, I think that was probably a funny scene for me. I was like just randomly.
It was like the Outcast song. Teachers really smell like poo, poo, poo.
Ah. But other than that, there's that. I thought about that that scene where he's just Andre is walking down the stairs. It's not, and he's not even in his possession form yet at all. It just I don't know. He creeped me out. It was because he just like slowly walks down.
Yeah. Anybody drinking milk like that too, you better go get a job. Because you need
He
a
definitely nailed that creepy performance. I was like, he was doing great until they CGI'd him.
Yeah. Insane.
And lesson of the movie: don't fuck with the alcoholic mother. She go kick you in the nuts, and what should you do to the neighbor?
That was another good thing. The kids that were picking on Andre.
Still rocking that boy's head. It's like, oh shit.
That's what he deserved. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's gonna do it, man. Unless you want to add anything else. Next week, Ty West, the Innkeepers. Join us 8 p.m. for another new episode of Friday the 14th podcast.
See you, Ultra.